Quiet quitting is an authentic response to a broken workplace, but it's slowly destroying you from the inside while only inconveniencing corporate. Peter Drucker diagnosed this exact dynamic over 70 years ago, and his answer might not be what you expect. Allow me to explain. Now, you might look at corporate America and hear a manager say something incredibly disingenuous, like, "Our employees are family." And then your eyes couldn't possibly roll any further back in your head. Ugh. The whole thing feels like a massive hypocritical joke. Why should you break your back for a system that clearly views you as disposable? Why give 110% when your extra effort is only rewarded with more work? I get it. It's understandable that your response here is to just act your wage. Do the bare minimum, just enough to collect a paycheck, always making sure to poop on the clock and take as many coffee breaks as humanly possible. But to really understand why you feel this way and how you can navigate it without losing your mind, it helps take a look at the mechanisms of how we got here. Believe it or not, the legendary management thinker Peter Drucker actually saw the roots of this disillusionment decades ago. He realized that the traditional way of managing people was completely broken. It's what experts call Theory X, which is based on the carrot and the stick model. You see, in the old days, companies could use the stick of fear and literal starvation to force people to work hard. If you lost your job 100 years ago, you were an outcast and your family might go hungry. Today, however, in the developed world, that extreme fear is mostly gone, so the stick no longer works or is no longer as effective. And because managers can't really just terrify you into working hard anymore, they try to use the carrot of money, perks, and benefits to buy your loyalty. But these corporate rewards often just turn into what Drucker calls golden fetters. They are designed to tie you to an employer and trap you in the job you might not even like. And when you stay at a job just because the penalty for leaving feels too high, you end up feeling trapped. As a result, you are likely to be sullen, resentful, and bitter for the rest of your tenure there. Add to that the fact that the modern workplace often tries to force you into unvarying robotic routines which treat you like a poorly designed machine rather than a human being. This creates physical and mental fatigue, anger, and resistance. So what happens when people hate their jobs but feel they can't leave? You guessed it, quiet quitting. This is a very natural reaction to a manipulative system. Drucker noted that when workers feel like they are just being used by the system, feeling like they are defeated, unrewarded, or underappreciated, they become absolute experts at resistance. They might not be able to change the company, but they do know exactly how to sabotage it. Drucker compared it to a famous 1920s satirical novel called The Good Soldier Schweik, which is a story about a soldier who single-handedly drags down an entire massive army not by rebelling openly, but by doing exactly what he is told and absolutely nothing else. Sound familiar? Quiet quitting is the modern version of Schweik's sabotage. Now, Schweik would have been very comfortable on Zoom calls, just nodding along to the all-hands-on-deck meeting and doing absolutely nothing unless specifically addressed. Furthermore, the old-school demand for blind, subservient loyalty feels fake to you because it is fake. Modern organizations inherently involve power dynamics and an alienating kind of authority. But the truth is, the managers demanding your loyalty aren't your masters anymore. In a modern organization, even the CEO of the largest corporation is just a fellow employee. You are subordinate only in rank within the company. You are equal in law. That is why the whole "we are a family" routine feels like a slap in the face. It is a fake dynamic trying to mask a simple economic transaction. But here's the catch. The main reason you need to be careful with the quiet quitting mindset is that while doing the bare minimum feels like giving a giant middle finger to corporate, it actually destroys your soul at the same time. You see, work isn't just a paycheck. Whether we like it or not, being productive is a psychological need, an extension of your personality, and one of the ways you measure your own worth and humanity. Unemployment and a lack of meaningful work cause severe psychological disturbances, mostly because they undermine our own self-respect. If your job is too small, too boring, or too unchallenging, you will rapidly decline into a soured, cynical, and unproductive state. You spend a huge chunk of your life at work, and doing the bare minimum just out of spite means you are choosing to spend those hours unengaged and disassociated. You deserve achievement and progress in your career, not because you want to buy the CEO a third yacht, but because living an unproductive and meaningless life will leave you empty and ultimately feeling like a failure. So how do you survive corporate America without selling your soul, but also without turning into a cynical zombie? Here is what Drucker would actually tell you to do, and none of this involves a cringy LinkedIn post. Number 1, reject the corporate family myth and get a real life. Have you ever been told to bring your whole self to work? Drucker thought that this is one of the most dangerous ideas of modern management. You do not owe your company your life. Drucker explicitly calls out this toxic, I don't know what you even call it, phenomenon of believing that the best employee is the person who lives, eats, drinks, and sleeps at the job and the company. In fact, people who have no life outside of their jobs usually shoot up like a rocket and then come crashing down just as fast because they burn out. To stay mature, sane, and happy, you need a genuine, serious interest outside of work. Whether it is playing music, gardening, woodworking, or fitness, you need an area where you can impose your own standards of performance on yourself, completely separate from your employer. This gives you an independent source of self-respect and protects you from the relentless setbacks and the daily annoyances that happen in your career. 2. Don't quit quietly, leave loudly. If your job is treating you terribly, don't just stay there and rot. If the job is demanding behavior you consider morally indefensible, or if the atmosphere is toxic and the environment is filled only with yes men, you should quit. If the company isn't training you or giving you a view of the bigger picture, you should quit. If there are no fair promotional opportunities and you are bottlenecked under management, what should you do? Bingo, quit. Hanging on to a demoralizing job for too long is a massive mistake. Sometimes getting fired or choosing to walk out is the best thing that can happen to you, because it teaches you that you can survive any setback, and it gives you an inner independence that you will never lose. 3. Focus on your own portable skills. Stop focusing on looking out for corporate and start looking out for your own professional foundations. One of the greatest secrets to navigating the employee society is that technical skills matter less than you think. The most valuable skill you can build as an employee is the ability to organize your ideas and communicate them clearly in writing and verbally. If you can convey your thoughts clearly, you have power in any organization, because the person who communicates clearly usually ends up running the room. Use your time at work to build these foundational skills so that you can take them wherever you go. 4. Protect your own character. At the end of the day, working with people requires basic integrity. You don't have to love the corporation, and you shouldn't fall for their manipulative tactics, but you shouldn't compromise your own personal standards of performance just because the system is flawed. Character and integrity are the ultimate deciders of your success and your peace of mind. In short, being disillusioned with the American dream and corporate hypocrisy is justified. The old system of management is in fact broken, and the rhetoric they have is often fake. But don't let bad management ruin your own psychological need for achievement and growth. Quiet quitting slowly kills your soul. Build a vibrant life outside of work. Demand a job that actually respects and challenges you. And if they treat you like a disposable cog, use your power and your independence to walk away. You owe it to yourself to find work that actually works for you. So what do you think? Does this align with your own experience of quiet quitting? Please let me know your stories in the pinned comment below. Also, if you have any topics you want me to cover, feel free to drop them below. I read every single comment. Please click like if you like this video, subscribe if you want Drucker's ideas delivered to you weekly. And if you know somebody who is quiet quitting, please send this to them. Your efforts are what help this channel grow, and more importantly, it's how Drucker's ideas get in the rooms where decisions actually get made. As always, thank you so much for your time and attention. I'll see you next time.